Everyone wants to see Jake Paul get knocked out by Mike Tyson, but there's one important thing people are forgetting. A 27-year-old man in his prime versus a 60-year-old legend. Will Jake Paul's advantage when it comes to the age difference make up for his lack of experience, or will Mike Tyson get the better of him? We get to see youth versus experience. Which one's going to win? The Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight was originally scheduled to take place on the 20th of July, but was postponed due to Mike Tyson experiencing health issues. Mike Tyson experienced an ulcer flare-up while on a flight from LA to Miami, which required medical attention. His medical team would advise him to avoid heavy training for a few weeks, and this would ultimately lead to the fight being moved to November 15th. And now here we are, just a few days away from the fight. The hype is building up. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson just dropped their face-to-face, and along with the open workouts taking place today. Unfortunately, a lot of people seem to think that Mike Tyson will beat the shit out of Jake, to which I have to completely disagree. And most people somehow seem to think that 60-year-old Mike Tyson will obliterate and destroy a 27-year-old inexperienced Jake Paul in his prime. Now, as for the fight, the official rules of the fight are: knockouts are permitted. It's going to be a sanctioned pro bout. The fight will consist of 8 2-minute rounds. The fighters will wear 14-ounce gloves and no headgear, and the fight will take place at heavyweight. So now we can see this is different to a normal professional boxing match where they have 10, 12, 3-minute rounds and 10-ounce gloves. And why is that? Maybe Jake Paul's inexperience won't allow him to fight more than 2-minute rounds or any smaller gloves. Well, obviously we know that's not true. Jake has been fighting with 10-ounce gloves and 10 3-minute rounds. We've seen him do that. Jake, although he's inexperienced, he's in his prime. And for the 4 years he has been boxing and committed his life to it, he's gotten good in a short period of time. Mike Tyson, on the other hand, although he's a legend, the greatest of all time, he is 60 years old. I feel like people are really overlooking the effects of age. There's just no situation where a 60-year-old man should be stronger, more capable, in better shape than a 27-year-old. And I can guarantee you, Jake Paul will knock out and destroy Mike Tyson. I'm so confident that Jake Paul will knock out Mike Tyson. There's almost no way Mike Tyson's going to be able to hang in there with Jake. The biggest indicator of this is literally the rules of the fight. They both have medical checkups, and doctors have determined that these are the fight rules that they should fight by. Why? Because Mike Tyson is fucking 60. He's 60 years old fighting a 27-year-old Jake Paul. There's no way on earth people really think Mike Tyson is going to beat Jake. And here's the problem. People are getting so conflated in what Mike Tyson was in his prime, in what Mike Tyson used to be versus what he is now. And we can see this by people posting shit like this on Twitter. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson as children. I'm pretty sure that's Logan Paul, but then there's a picture of Mike at apparently 13 years old. And now once again, Mike is no longer 13, he's 60. We're not talking of a 13-year-old Mike Tyson here. We're talking of a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. But I really think people are underestimating how much of an impact, how much of a difference 40 fucking years has. Think about this. Mike Tyson became heavyweight champ of the world at 20 years old. He's now 60. There's no way he's going to be able to perform at the level he could when he was fucking 20. I don't understand how people seem to think online that Mike is going to beat Jake. He's fucking 60. Do y'all remember how Mike Tyson looked against Roy Jones a few years ago? And he was taking it light there. I don't care if he's 60, he'll still obliterate Jake Paul. LMAO. First of all, both of these men, when they fought, were in their 50s. Roy Jones was in his 50s when this fight happened, and so was Mike. Mike isn't in there with a 27-year-old in his prime. He's in there with a fucking another man the same age as him, 50. But somehow, again, people seem to think that because of what Mike Tyson was, they're getting it mixed up with what he is now. Here for when Mike Tyson does this to Jake Paul, conveniently forgetting that this is a fucking 20-year-old Mike Tyson, and we're going to be seeing a 60-year-old Mike Tyson in just a matter of a few days, in there with another 20-year-old man. Come on, man, come on. I love Mike. He's a legend. He's the GOAT, the best to ever do it. But let's just be real here, man. There's no shot on earth that Mike Tyson has to beat Jake Paul. It's not going to happen, man. Mike Tyson is not going to be as strong as he once was. His power will have decreased significantly. His ability to dodge punches is also going to be hindered and impacted. He's not going to have the reflexes to dodge punches and move out of the way like he once did when he was 20. And even if he can dodge punches and get get out of the way of the punches Jake's going to throw. He's not going to be able to throw punches as quick. So either he can't dodge punches as quick, or he can't throw as quick, or both. He's going to be trying to dodge Jake's punches and he's just going to be getting clipped. Or he's going to throw punches and Jake's going to be miles away by the time he throws the punch, because the reflexes, the speed just won't be there. Sure, we can see the training footage. We can see him hitting the pads. We can see the open workout. And yeah, he looks good for his age. He looks good. But people are forgetting pads don't hit back. He's going to be in there with a 27-year-old who's only getting better and sharper. The more Mike Tyson trains, the amount of abuse he's taken from years of training and hard spars and the amount of fights he had, that wears you down. And when you're 60, I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to take a punch like you once could. And you're not going to be able to throw a punch like you once could. And even if you can, the odds of that punch landing are way less. And the odds of you dodging the punches and getting out of the way are way less. I'm not a boxing expert. I'm just giving my honest opinion using my fucking brain and a bit of common sense. All right. I don't know shit about boxing. I'm not a boxing expert. I don't claim to be. This should be a fucking easy win for Jake Paul. Like, yeah, Mike looks good for his age, but the pads also don't hit back. Everyone's got to play until they get punched in the face. That was his quote. Those pads aren't punching him back. And Mike Tyson would leave this message for Jake Paul.
Final thing, I presume that Mike Tyson is watching this right now. Is there anything you want to say to him?
Mike, I love you, but this is my sport now. It's an honor to get in the ring with you. I'm so honored. You're a legend, but I'm going to take your throne, brother.
There's a fundamental difference between me and Jake. He's a manufactured killer. Television and papers made him a killer. He's manufactured. I'm a natural born killer. That's the difference.
Which, sure, the message is cold. It's Mike Tyson. Obviously, he's fucking gangster. He's a bad man. Even when he's 60, he's intimidating. Let's keep it real. He's intimidating even at 60. It's going to be sad to see Mike get knocked out. Obviously, I'm going to watch the fight. It's on Netflix. Anyone that has Netflix can watch the fight. Mike, unfortunately, lose in probably devastating fashion. Jake Paul is going to go in there to kill. He just wants to be able to say, I knocked out the greatest boxer in the world. That's what Jake Paul wants to say. Let's forget about the other details, that the fact Mike Tyson is 60. He just wants to say, I knocked out Mike Tyson, the greatest boxer to ever live. That's what Jake wants to say. And he's going to fucking go in there to kill. And Jake does. Every time he fights, he's in there to knock people out, and he sleeps people. He fucking dropped Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is nowhere near as old as Mike Tyson. Nate Diaz is 39 years old. Nate Diaz is 20 years younger than Mike Tyson. And Jake Paul dropped him. And Nate Diaz is known for having a fucking chin and being able to eat shots. This fight is a lose-lose for Jake. When Jake wins and knocks out Mike Tyson, everyone's going to say, yeah, well, you beat a 60-year-old man. That's what everyone's going to say. No one's going to give him the credit he deserves. They're just going to say, yeah, you beat a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. And when Mike Tyson knocks Jake out, it looks bad for Jake because he got knocked out by a 60-year-old man. Like, there's no winning for Jake. Either he gets knocked out by a 60-year-old man or he knocked out a 60-year-old man. So there's really no winning for Jake. I mean, unless you're talking about the paycheck he's going to be getting from Netflix for the fight, there's going to be a lot of people probably watching this to see Mike Tyson return. And let's keep it real, Jake knows how to set up an interesting fight. Like, people are sitting there thinking, well, Jake is younger, but he lacks experience. Mike, he's a lot older, but he was one of the best. He was the best. Is a youth going to help Jake win, or is Mike's experience going to help him win? It is kind of an interesting matchup if you don't have a brain, obviously. Or anyone with a brain, you should just see it's an easy win for Jake. I think Mike just gets fucking beat around. I reckon within 2 rounds. I honestly reckon within 2 rounds. Jake is going to go for the kill. I don't want to be the guy to say I told you so, but I'm fucking saying it right now. Jake's going to win. It should be easy for him.